Here comes the money. Money, 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 money. We know that Shane O'Mac has lots of money, but Tony Khan doesn't need that. What Tony Khan needs is ratings, but possibly Shane McMahon could bring those as well. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. We're here to talk about AEW, Shane McMahon, and the possibility of a deal being done. Could Shane McMahon be signed to AEW? Heck, could Shane McMahon buy shares or a partnership in AEW? Well, let's break it all down. We have WrestleFotes, we have Dave Meltzer, we've got Bully Ray, all saying that they know information on the AEW Shane McMahon deal, and Dave Meltzer is actually claiming that nobody in WWE wants to bring Shane McMahon back. So first off, I'm going to give my quick thoughts. I think that Shane McMahon should go to AEW. Perhaps this guy isn't done, okay? Perhaps he still wants a role in the wrestling business, and pretty much with the whole Vince McMahon thing, his role is done. You know, he's gone. He's no longer the son of McMahon. McMahon is out. Triple H is still there, but he's more there as the chief operator. He's there because that was his role within the company. Shane McMahon, I don't even know if he's got a role right now. All he's got, I believe, is shares in the McMahon name. But the McMahon name right now means not a lot. In fact, having the name McMahon actually hurts Shane. That's a bad thing for Shane. Never in the wrestling business could be getting called McMahon be a bad thing. But now, in terms of Shane being in the WWE, they probably want to distance Shane McMahon from the company. You know what? Maybe a little bit similar to Chris Benoit's son David. He could never get a tryout in WWE because they didn't want to bring him back because of the whole Benoit thing. And that seems to be something similar, I would assume, with Shane McMahon. But why should Shane McMahon accept that? Why should he just tuck his tail and leave and never be seen in the wrestling world again? He is Vince McMahon's son. He should have been the one that took over from Vince McMahon. Now, I think we can all agree before Vince, what happened to Vince happened and he got ousted from the company, Shane had already been replaced by Stephanie and Triple H pretty much, but there was still going to be a role for Shane McMahon in the company, and now it looks like there's no role for Shane. So you know what? If he has got unfinished business, why not go to AEW? It's not like he's competing against his father anymore. It's not like he is betraying Vince. Vince doesn't own the company. Vince has pretty much been pushed out of the company that he built, essentially. He built wrestling, and Vince McMahon has been, in my opinion, treated like shit. Pun intended, maybe shit. But anyway, Shane McMahon, could he go to AEW? Could he fight back against WWE? I'd like to see it. Why not? Why not? Why should Shane be done with wrestling? Why should Shane never have a job or have a role or have a position or have a say in the wrestling business again? I like Shane McMahon. He seems a nice person. I've always thought he was a great character. I would accept Shane McMahon back on my television screen. You look at AEW, I think they could certainly do with a mouthpiece. They could do with an authority figure. We know that Tony Khan is not a capable on-screen personality. I'll tell you one guy who is, Shane McMahon. You want to have some leadership, you want to have a good general manager, an authority figure, Shane McMahon could be that guy. So I think Shane in AEW, I don't think it will happen, but I wish it would happen. Anyway, WrestleFotes tweeted, quote, asked a long-time employee friendly with Shane for thoughts on the Tony Khan picture. The response, Shane's as smart as they come. Taking a preliminary meeting doesn't surprise anyone here. End of quote. And then we had Brian Alvarez talking about the situation, and he said that there was no way the Shane McMahon and Tony Khan picture was leaked. I don't think it was leaked, and in fact, I believe Mercedes Moné actually said on Twitter she was the one that took it. Now, whether that's true or not, whether she took it, whether she's lying, I don't know. But she did actually tweet that, so who knows? But this is what Brian Alvarez said. He said, quote, from what I know, stories I've heard, there is no chance somebody walked in on this meeting, took a photograph, Tony went, oh, then they fled, and they put it on the internet. No chance, zero, silch, not a chance in the world, okay? So he wants it out there. Why? Well, I don't know what's going on. I don't have any inside information on this one, but I don't know, man. I think Shane's coming in. I think he's coming in. Why would you leak this? Why would you allow this to go out on the internet if you did not intend to bring this man in? Why would you do that? Anyway, we'll see. End of quote. I get what Brian Alvarez is saying, but right now, I think that Tony Khan is desperate. And even if he couldn't get Shane to come in, I think Tony Khan would leak this photo himself just to try and get the internet talking, just to try and get some clicks, just to try and get people hyped about AEW and the possibility of Shane coming in. So I don't really agree with Alvarez. I get what he's saying, but I think he's wrong. I think Tony Khan, his mind doesn't operate the way other people's minds. It's like the mind works. Tony Khan would probably think that, bad publicity is good publicity. Even if he puts this out there and the deal falls apart, people will still be talking about it. So I think that's what Tony Khan is thinking. Now, on Busted Open After Dark, WWE Hall of Famer Bully Ray said he had a phone call with Shane. He actually spoke to Shane after the meeting. And this is a direct quote Bully Ray is claiming Shane McMahon gave him regarding the meeting with Tony Khan. Quote, Tony and I were connected through a mutual friend and we had a great meeting. We talked about many things, but mostly about our shared love for the business and the rewards and challenges of working with family. I congratulated him on the 5-year anniversary of AEW and look forward to how he evolves the business moving forward. End of quote. So, there you go. He's talking about challenges of working with family, talking about Tony Khan moving the business forward. For me, that doesn't sound like Shane's going to be a part of that, but who knows? That, though, a direct quote Bully Ray has given from the mouth of Shane McMahon himself. Shane McMahon describing what went down there, not in great detail, but why would Shane lie? And then finally, we had Dave Meltzer from the Wrestling Observer claiming that WWE do not want Shane McMahon back. And I actually believe this. I know Meltzer talks a lot of shit, he gets a lot of things wrong, but I actually do believe that WWE right now, within the company, they do not want Shane McMahon back. I don't think Triple H wants Shane McMahon back. I don't think WWE wants Shane McMahon back. I would imagine probably a lot of the wrestlers don't really want Shane McMahon back because of the connection to his father. So that's what Dave Meltzer said. He says, quote, I know that Shane has looked to get back in WWE. I know that the people in charge of WWE have no interest in him. Could that change with the idea that he'd be willing to go to AEW? Maybe, maybe not. Would he really be willing to go to AEW? I don't know where his mind is. Shane's got a lot of money. If you compare the amount of money Shane got for the amount of work he did when he was inactive as a professional wrestler for a few times a year, it was really high. End of quote. Now, yeah, Shane McMahon does have a lot of money, but I don't agree with Meltzer. I don't think Shane McMahon made all his money through being an active wrestler. I think he made his money as well through just being employed in the company and the roles that he had. And of course, he is a McMahon. I don't think Shane was relying on his in-ring paydays in order to become rich. I don't think that at all. Shane McMahon's had successful careers in other things. I'm pretty sure he went to, was it China or something? He had a business set up over there. So, yeah, I mean, the paydays helped. I'm sure the WrestleMania paydays helped Shane. Yeah, why not? But he's made money through other avenues as well. Meltzer then also went on to say that there was issues between Shane and WWE before his return at WrestleMania 32 in 2016, and that this is not the first time the company didn't want Shane McMahon back. Meltzer says, quote, I know from people in WWE, like I said, he's tried to get back. There's a lot of negativity. I would say there has been for a long time. Him coming back, it wasn't like when he was gone, they were begging him to come back. Linda pushed very, very hard for a long time for him to come back, and they took him back because there were some injuries for WrestleMania, and they knew he and The Undertaker was going to do good business. End of quote. So, I mean, according to Dave Meltzer, WWE only really brought Shane McMahon back because they were desperate. They needed him. They thought Shane McMahon and Undertaker could, fill a hole at WrestleMania. So, I don't really know if I would listen to Dave Meltzer. I mean, he doesn't even make sense half the time. So, even reading Meltzer stuff, reading statements from Meltzer's really tough because you have to correct yourself because he's constantly fucking just wrong. So you have to try and make up words for him at times because it's just the way he formats stuff, and yeah, he's not very good with his grammar, but whatever. Anyway, guys, there you go. Shane McMahon, AEW. My closing thoughts is, why not? Shane McMahon, if he wants to still be in the wrestling business, maybe he doesn't, okay? But he says he loves it. and he said that, you know, he had a meeting with Tony Khan because they both have love for the wrestling business. So it's quite clear that Shane McMahon loves wrestling. If he wants to stay in wrestling, it's probably not going to be with WWE. So why should this guy not join AEW? This wouldn't be him betraying WWE. The McMahons are pretty much done. Yeah, they might have stocks or whatever, but McMahon, the name McMahon, the family McMahon owning the WWE, that's past, that's gone, that's done. This is not a betrayal. If Shane joined AEW, if Shane became all elite, he wouldn't be betraying his father or his legacy or his family. I would argue the McMahons have already been betrayed. I reckon they've already been kicked out of WWE. So, yeah, if Shane goes to AEW, fair play. And this is probably one of the only things that could get AEW back to that 1 million territory. For how long, we don't know. But I guarantee you, if Shane McMahon joined AEW, if they promoted Shane McMahon on AEW Dynamite, it would do over 1 million views. 100% it would. There's not many things that could do that for AEW, but a McMahon being in All Elite Wrestling, that's certainly one of the things that would get that done. So I think it makes sense. It makes sense for Tony Khan. Makes sense for Shane McMahon. I mean, ideally, I think it'd be better if it was Vince, but, you know, we'll take what we can get. And at this point, it's Shane McMahon. Shane and Tony working together. The two sons of, very famous, very rich fathers. I think it'd be interesting to see. And I'd like to see it. It would certainly make AEW a hell of a lot more interesting than it is right now. Anyway, guys, that is it. Fog Wrestling. Let me know your thoughts down below. Would you like to see Shane McMahon join AEW? I'll catch you in the next one. Till then, peace.